Okay. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Those of you joining us and those of you who've been part of that silliness that's been going on for the last 20 minutes to half an hour. Well, not silly. Well, we've been playing with some Windows 10 stuff, and maybe we'll just take 1 minute and show you what we've been doing. So those of you who joined late go, what what they've been talking about. Hey, but anyhow, welcome to the Sunday night webinar. This is March 11th, Web 2008, and I'm Gene Colbago.
And I'm Roger Carroll.
You spoke so well that
I want to see what happens in the closed
the closed caption. Yeah.
Are we going to stick around a little later at 9 o'clock for those people who didn't set their clocks ahead?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Really.
And welcome then to the end of the webinar.
Hey, I don't know about if you've been if it's made the news up there, but Florida is in the process of passing. I don't know if it's a law or whatever. They will not go on to standard time again. They will just stay on daylight saving time forever.
They have to get adjacent states to do it too.
They claim they don't. They only have to get federal permission.
Well, the same conversation has been held all week up here.
Yeah.
With New York and Massachusetts.
Okay.
And of course they'll have the same conversation in the fall and again next spring.
Yeah. Well, although this has gone through the legislature down here, and if I'm not mistaken, it's almost ready to go to the governor, who, if he learns to write, will sign it. I'm sorry.
Well,
I was just joking.
Will he be shooting holes in it?
I don't know. No. I have to admit they have signed some anti-NR, some legislation. So
Dave points out that Arizona does not go observe.
You know what? My wife looked that up today, and they claimed that it was not all of Arizona. It's only part of Arizona. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm sorry I brought that up. But good evening, everybody. You started it, Raj, with your 9 o'clock. But anyhow. Hey, good evening, everybody. We're glad you're here, and it's going to be one of those nights. Hey, we've got hopefully a couple of good ideas for you. The first thing, if you were joining us in the middle of the early show, I guess we could call it, we were talking about that little white square in the lower left-hand corner of your Windows 10 screen, if you are indeed watching on Windows 10, or your school laptops of course have Windows 10, and it's I don't know if they're all related, but we have Siri, we have Alexa, we have Google, and we have Microsoft Cortana, and down below is Cortana, and we were just showing some people how it works. And I had just read, let's see if I can pop it up, and I put it in my Flipboard. It was a top 25 most useful commands and questions for Cortana, and it's was kind of cool. It got me thinking, and I started playing with it this morning or yesterday or whenever, and I found out that it does have a few uses. And just real quick to review, Cortana does have you have the ability to type a question in here, or you can set it up so that you can talk to it. You can actually set it up so that it will recognize a command such as, "Hey Cortana, open Word."
Sure, starting Word.
And that's pretty good. And Dave and I found out that Cortana does have an error because I said this, "Hey Cortana, what's the weather?"
Right now, it's partly cloudy and 73.
Okay, you can see that. Dave did it, and it said it was 30. So we think there might be something wrong with Cortana, but we're not sure. Okay. There are a number of things you can do. And Cortana even does math, we said. And if you take a look at that article, or just Google, hey, what can I do with Cortana? There's some pretty cool things. Hey, Cortana, what's 25 times 37?
25 times 37 is 925.
And okay. Pretty cool. And now, If you're looking at your computer and you don't have that little microphone there, it's a very easy thing to set up Cortana. It'll take you 30 seconds. What you do is you go to the settings. And now to get to settings, you can click here and click on this little guy right there. That's settings. And there's a Cortana button. And you can check your microphone to make sure it's working. And now I turned this on. That's why it understands that command HEYCORTANA, which I don't want to say out loud because it would ask me what the heck. Okay. And you can turn it off if you get a little crazy with it. There's a keyboard shortcut. I don't mess. I have that on, but that's about all you need to do. And Cortana should work for you. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay. That's where we were. And if anybody has any questions about Cortana, I don't know what to do. Okay, well, you can email us. We'll try to figure it out. But it's like Alexa and Siri and some of those others. Obviously, it's on the computer, but it does have some benefits and some, I think it has some things you can do. And there's some things here I'm still going through, trying to figure out how it works. So maybe we'll run over a few more next week. With that, I've had a couple of ideas this week. I can probably get to one, and probably the other one next week. But they both come from a site that we've talked about several times, many times, probably ad nauseum. And it's called Teachers Pay Teachers. And if you don't know about this site, if you're new to us, haven't seen this site, do recommend this site. It's a really great site. And basically what it is, if I may scoot down to the bottom without making you too dizzy, it's an online marketplace where you, if you have any good lessons, units, whatever, you can actually put them online and sell them. Or you can go in and buy them. But Roger and I have a special word that we like. We like the word free. And there are, well, I'll show you how many free resources on Teachers Pay Teachers. What I also recommend is over here, there is a place to sign up. And then about once every week or two, you'll get an email. And down at the bottom of the email, if I can get down here, they give you 10 free downloads, okay? And they vary from K through 12, okay? Pretty good. Now, how do you find the free stuff? Well, on the left, there's a very big search engine. We're not going to go through this very much, but except to show you that where you go to the same prices and you click on free. You can go through and do the search here. I don't think I have to do that for you. But if you look there, I don't know if you can see that, it says there are 467,271 free results or free resources on Teachers Pay Teachers, which is pretty phenomenal. A lot of good free stuff. The one I was going to talk about, but I won't tonight, is the Hello Fonts. But what I had done roaming through, I came across something that gave me, I think, an even better idea of something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And if that was confusing, I better explain. I went into, I typed the word computer technology in here, and I finally ended up at this guy's, I guess it's his store or his place on Teachers Pay Teachers. And he has a free download, which I downloaded and I started to look at. And I said, hey, this is terrific. And I looked at it and I looked at it and I said, but I think we can do better. And notice he's from Fonthill, if anybody knows where Fonthill is in Ontario. Anyhow, this was, let's see if I have it here, the free download. Okay, what he did, and it was kind of clever, was he put up a PowerPoint, and in the first slide he has some questions, 5 questions dealing. This is a technology. I should have shown you amazing technology videos, and then he has 5 questions, and he asks the students to view certain videos. As you can see on the left, he has a number of them here, and then to select one question for each one. And I thought, this is pretty good. You know, like if you go to the first one here, for example, scientists have created edible water, and there's an edible water bottle, and there's a video that you can go to. It's not really super well done. I may have embedded the video, right, Raj? We would have done it a lot better. But it was kind of clever. And I have also found out that I don't know how long ago he put this up, but about 4 of the links are no longer available. So it's kind of outdated. But I was watching that and it gave me an idea. Let me show you my version of this same thing with the let me go here. Let me go to Microsoft. Should I? Yeah, why don't I go here? I created a little web page. It's on my teacher web page, teacher page, and I just for the sake of it, I used Microsoft Forms. We've talked about that for the last couple of weeks, and we'll show it to you again to create a version of his idea right here. But mine is the kids can do this completely online. No paper. They don't have to have a computer or anything. I put the questions here. Here's our mythology unit. Please put your first name in the first question response, because notice down here it says your response is anonymous. So if you were giving it to a student, maybe if the student put his or her first name in, and here are some questions, main characters dealing with mythology, and then they could go down to the first question. Here is a myth, Echo and Narcissus. They could watch that video simply by clicking on that. And then down below, or up above, they would select one question, and then they could enter their response right there. Easy. This is an easy way. Here's another, then I just put in another myth, a video. They could watch it. And one of the nice things, well, let me start this just to show you. I'm going to start this.
We can hear it.
You can.
We can hear it.
Oh, really?
Very faint, but yeah.
In other words, she could tell great stories.
But what I wanted to show you there is one of the nice things is it is also closed captioned. So if some of the students have a little trouble with the reading, you can listen to it and you can see the words also. And that might be a good thing for the younger students or for the older ones, as a matter of fact. And then as you go down, you can do that. And then when they get done, hit submit, and they've turned it into you, and you can then go to your Microsoft Forms, and there's the mythology unit right here. Now, to get to your Microsoft Forms, of course, just a reminder again, if you're not familiar with Microsoft Forms, log in. Good afternoon. I think it's evening, but log into Microsoft using your school login, and Forms is right here. It is basically online, although you can download a version of it, but you still have to be logged in because it's all saved online. Okay? And once you're in there, it's very easy to do this. And here's what I did. Okay. If what you would do is, see this part here, I had trying to figure out where I would put that information. What I did, let me go back here. And
you mean introducing the whole thing?
Yeah, with the questions and all this. They don't have a text box. So what I found out, if you go here, click here, I put the name here, and see where it says enter a description? You can type all the text you want there. That's where I entered that. Okay? And then it showed up. Here's the name, and this is the text that I put in that enter a description box. So it kind of worked out. It was pretty easy to do there.
And you can give hints, right? You can build in
Yes.
hints to the questions.
Oh,
and
yes,
do a
yes.
number of things, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm just, yeah. We're just doing the very simplest. Yeah, you can get much more involved too. You know, and again, what I did, just to go down here, let's just show you. What I did was add a question. I selected text, and in order to give them a little bit more room, I selected long text. Then I went to YouTube. Okay, here's another one, the story of Medusa. So I highlighted that, I copy it, I went back to here, and the question would just be the story of Medusa. Now, to get the video like this, it's very, very simple. Go over here, click on this. I have to move something, excuse me. And it's a video, so I click a video. All they want is the URL. So this is the URL up here. I'm going to do a Control-C so you don't see that, but go here, Control-V, add, and there it is. Okay? That's simple.
Can you hold on a second? Can you go back to go back to the YouTube, go back where you found the video?
Yes.
And then where it says share, below the video, share.
Okay, hang on 1 second. I have to move something. Share.
Below the video,
right there.
Share, right.
Oh, that would be that way.
But then you can, right, you copy it there.
Yes.
Or I don't know if it.
Yeah. Like the embed doesn't work in Forms yet.
Because in one of the options, playing around with all that stuff this last week, is you can indicate you don't want to see, at the end of the video, you don't want to see suggestions of other videos.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, yes.
Yep. It'll bring up those things on the right.
Yeah.
No biggie, but maybe if you said embed, click embed, and maybe it gives you the option there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Show suggested video. Yeah. But now, will that work?
Well, that's embedding it now too.
Yeah, that's just embedding it. Yeah, and embedding is not right now. I could not embed it with Forms, but you know, it worked out pretty well that way.
Yeah, I'm just going a couple of
playing
it ahead. This could be awesome for any number of applications in the cloud.
Yeah, and like I said, it all started when I saw the guy's PowerPoint. I says, whoa, this is pretty good. Then I thought, gee, we can make it a lot better. And I think this would be very easy. The kids could work at their own rate. You could put it up there. And for the sake of, notice that this is what I put on. I just created a little page here called the Mythology Unit. And, I embedded it here. Now, what I can do very quickly.
You embedded the forms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. To show you how I did that, I hope, what I'm going to do is show you, and I don't expect people to go, oh yeah, now I get it, now I remember. Maybe a few of you who do websites will, but if you're interested in say, hey, I'd like to do this, let me know, let Roger or me know. We'll set up something and run a little study group or whatever where we can do this. It really is very super simple. Here's what you would do. You would go to your Microsoft Forms. At the top it says share. Okay, and underneath you'll see the two little greater than, less than. That's the embed symbol. And if you click on that, you'll get some stuff here, and all you need to do is copy it. Okay? Now, what you need to do now is go to your web page, and if you have a Blackboard web page, it's called now. If not, we can help you set those up. We've been doing that for quite some time. And just very quickly, I've signed in already, so I just want to show you how it was done. Okay, I clicked on that and it's taken me to my mythology unit page. And you may not know, or if you have started, they are using a new means of process of doing it, where you basically take a blank page and then you add apps to it as you need it. For example, real quickly, up here, I put what they call a content app. What I did was I went over here to content, I dragged it over. This content app allowed me then to add an image, and that's where I put the picture in, just the same way that you would have done it in New York Learns or any other website, actually. Now, remember we copied an embed code? Well, what I did was I went down here, I found the embed code app, I just dragged it over. We're going to have it twice, okay, Raj, just to show you, and let it go there. Now that it's there, you click on the little green thing. This opens up. Remember, I copied the embed code from Microsoft Forms. I copied that. Where am I? Here. And then I just paste it. I hit save. And down below it says I've been successful. Now if I go to my page here, I'm going to have it twice, I think. Notice there and notice there, okay? I just embedded it again to show you. That's how easy it is. It's incredibly easy. And, you know, I think this would be a good use of technology. You can put a lot of the, you know, figure out some of your assignments, so forth and so on, and just create it in this mode. And it would be, I think, kind of motivating for the students. They're using a different way.
I'm going to take this a step more than Forms, but Forms would work. Obviously,
yes.
Obviously it does. You're going to YouTube for a whole lot of videos, and I noticed working with the second grade class the last couple of weeks that there are videos of people reading some of the stories that are in their Journeys textbook for a homework assignment or for a follow-up or a follow-through assignment or something. You could embed that on your teacher page under any category whatsoever, so the kids can go home if they have access and a device, of course, and it could be read to them. Again, the closed captioning, the whole thing would work, I think, extremely well with any of this stuff. And like, it couldn't be any easier than it is right now with the apps, with the you would master it after the first time working with it.
Yeah, and if, like I say, if you are interested in doing this, you say, hey, you know, yeah, I kind of saw what you did, but I need some help. Please indicate that in the survey or send us an email. We'd be glad to, because I think it might be something that we could use. And also, you know what I should do, if I may have just one more before I flip it over. What's nice is once you go back to Forms, to this unit, as the students send in responses, you can click on the responses. You will see the scores, you know, what they got right, what they got wrong. You can open that in Excel. There are many, many ways that you can get the feedback, the data regarding that. Now, this was a little bit different, and that it's not just a right or wrong answer. You know, it's text. They're writing responses, but I believe it brings in the responses, I think, doesn't it, Raj, the text responses?
I believe it does, but
yeah, I'm not 100%. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have I don't sample. I don't know if I have one that has.
There you go.
Yeah, well, this is
where, let's see, more
this was just yeah, that's just that yeah.
But those are multiple choice or whatever you want to call it.
Okay, yeah.
So,
but I'm not sure, but I think it might. Yeah, well, if if you're submitting that, it would have to do that, wouldn't it?
I think
It would just seem that it would
makes
have to
sense.
do it. Yeah. See, there's nobody that's responded yet. But anyhow, yeah. It's super simple, super easy to do, and I think the result might be worthwhile. So anyhow, that was my one idea I got today, Raj. Along with Cortana. I mean, this has been a weird day, and with that, I think I will share. Maybe I'll switch it over to you and let you do some talking.
And we see my screen.
I do. It's rather quizzical, and it has a question mark there and asking. It looks like Chad, hanging Chad. No, it's a lamp. It's turned side. It's a lamp.
I'm going to digress quite a bit here before we do anything else. This is a sign in the big box store up in Burlington, Ontario.
Run this way.
Up in IKEA.
Okay. Oh.
All right. And this sign, and I haven't noticed it before. I'll get there once in a while. Haven't noticed it prior to today's visit up there. It caught my eye. What does it indicate?
Yeah.
Is there a jogging path throughout the store? Jog this way. Everything up there is all symbolic.
Yes.
Fact, I was staring at a sign there, trying to figure. I wanted to retrace our steps, which is almost impossible because of the size of the place. But what the heck? I think, and help me out here. I think it's for an evacuation. In other words, get the heck out of it by doing this way. They don't want people running through the store, obviously.
I have a thought, Raj.
Oh boy!
And if it works, I'll tell you what I did later. Okay.
Yeah, search the image.
Why did it do that? It was weird. I lost you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have. But anytime I want to use the snipping tool and click new, you go away.
Oh.
And I get my screen.
Okay. Well.
All right.
Anyway, I'm guessing that's what it is. And they're all over the place, pointing in different directions depending on where you are. In fact, you could have some fun up there. I don't know the last time you were there. They have arrows on the floor guiding you through department after department, display after display. And now they've gotten some technology. They actually use a spotlight and project the arrow onto the floor for the direction you are to walk and follow, the yellow brick road all the way around. But if you could hack it, you could have some fun with that. But the place, this sign just kind of struck me as, a little unusual. Okay, digression number 2. I don't know if you saw this, and I don't know if it's tied to a promotion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But it popped up yesterday. May have been before yesterday. I noticed it, and it's Mario time, and I think maybe there's a new movie coming or a new edition of the game, et cetera, et cetera. But if you have the latest version of Google Maps and you use it for directions, much like a GPS, it works really well in its own right. But this was kind of fun. Put in your locations, you say let's go, and then down here, and this is on Apple, this is on an iPhone, but on an Android device and so on, down here is the little Easter egg they call them, like the hidden feature. I don't think this is here to stay. I think it's here for a brief period of time. But anyway, when you click that, over on your map, a little Mario pops up in a cart, And if you start off on your journey, he guides you through your entire trip. And it's hysterical. And
did you have to add anything to get that?
No, you have to have the Google Maps.
Google Maps.
On your phone. On your phone.
I have it, but I don't have that.
Not yet. Put in your directions.
Okay.
And then when you put your to and from or your from and to, then you click the start. And your start then you'll have this, the little question mark. It may look different on your phone. I don't know what version of the phone you have. And it's right there. When you click that, he pops up over here. And these are screenshots from my phone today. But there's a little voice with it, and it's hysterical. But the other little piece of information is yesterday was March the 10th. And it was tied to, and somebody's very clever.
Yeah.
Mario, March the 10th.
Oh, yes. Very clever.
It was. I thought, okay, that was clever enough to talk a little bit about tonight anyway. So anyway, try it and see what you get. It might only be for a week. I really don't know, except that it was really kind of cool. I don't know what you're doing there, Gene, but it's clicking away.
Mario, I got what?
Oh, okay.
I didn't do that. I'm getting Mario on my phone.
There you go.
And I did. Yeah, I had to tap the little question mark.
Yes, that's what I said. You tap the question mark, and then otherwise you navigate without it. Another nice little tool is called Webopedia. You were mentioning before we started tonight in our conversation with backstage or whatever you call it. How do we keep up with all of the information? How do kids do it? How do we do it as professionals, etc.? Well, here is a website, Webopedia, and it just basically is a online technical dictionary. Students, educators, and our IT professionals. And you just type in the search term here, and it will tell you what it is. And there's a whole lot of acronyms and all kinds of nonsense going on in terms of technology. I mean, how do we keep up? We don't even know what they're talking about some of the time because it's happening so fast. You mentioned Thank You for Being Late, the Friedman book, and the rate and exponential change of what's out there. And here we are, in a school trying to keep up with, or teaching second graders for stuff that doesn't even exist yet by the time they get to the 12th grade. What are the essential skills? And just keeping track of them is daunting enough. You and I have the luxury of time. Well, where do the teaching professionals have the luxury of any time outside of, just catching your breath at the end of the day? So there we go. That was that. I wanted to point out another website. Now, these will all be in I guess we call them the webinar notes or the show notes when we post them at the end of the week, so you can go back and review this nonsense and whatnot. Here's another one. Some of these things, they get a little dated, so I'm always cautious about that. But again, just this past week, Windows 10 tip, 3 ways you can personalize your desktop. Stuff that, we personally probably do, but I don't know how much of this we're teaching and showing our students how to do. And here's a little piece about Cortana and so on. You got something clicking in the background there, Gene. I don't know what it is.
No, I don't think.
It was something
clicking.
It just sounded like it was like ratcheting almost.
I'm just sitting here listening to you. I said, I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is. Click, 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 click.
Oh, I know what it is. We've talked a lot of these, but this is the website it's a Windows 10 blog. So and it is Microsoft, and there are thousands, many thousands of blogs. But here if you go to this one, and again, I'll put the link up for that. Windows 10, and just from time, refresh it. I don't know what will happen if I refresh. I put this up a little while ago, Windows 10, and so on. But you can look at a number of things. We talked about Edge the last couple of weeks, and I think we're going to be taking closer looks at that and how it meshes nicely with OneNote and the different things that we do. One of the ways that I try to keep pace, and I'm really, if I do this, it's like if you check your email once a week, you have hundreds in your inbox, and I try to do that regularly. Just clean the junk out. I'm unsubscribing from many more things than I ever subscribed to. But there's a keeping track of our resources. You mentioned a number of them. I use a little app, and it's I'll show it to you. It's a Chrome extension called Feedly, and it's where I subscribe to a number of blogs. But notice here, this tells me how many unread there are.
I can beat you, Rod.
I don't doubt it, Gene. But look at, TechCrunch. Yeah. So when I remember to check it, I said, "Oh, this looks good," and even I'm really way behind on Larry Filazzo. And what the nice thing is, it does kind of put them in chronological order, so you can go from look at what the most recent ones are, and as you pursue them, they come off the list. It's like your email box, read and unread, and so on. Here's our friend, Free Technology for Teachers, and so on. But Feedly, I find, and there are a number of ways to manage your information. One of the big ones that we use, of course, is our Flipboards. And it's another way of aggregating. Maybe we even use the more current term, curating our information. And what it looks like. Flipboard is, I have to be a little more active with that when we're using Flipboard. If I use the Feedly, it's passive. It's like my Buffalo News coming to my front door every morning. I get them, I get it until I cancel a subscription. Flipboard, I have to be more active about stuff like that. It does allow me to follow some things automatically, but basically, I've had this magazine up not too long ago. It said Just Tech 217, and this is where I throw a number of articles that I come across that I think are really something I want to keep my hands on and maybe share out and have them at my fingertips and so on. So there's no single theme except they have to do with technology, and there's over 100 of them here. And I do mention them. In fact, you've mentioned it a couple of times. I don't know if we mentioned the last week or two, but the informal professional development Flipboard that we both contribute articles to and is accessible through our technology resource page. 8 examples of transforming lessons through this. You're going to see a lot more in the coming months about this. The SAMR, I think we say quickly, the SAMR cycle, and it has to do with the kind of like Bloom's taxonomy. In fact, there's a measure out there that puts them side by side. The higher order thinking and let's say the more in-depth technology you use based on this cycle. And there's a couple of other indexes around a technology integration matrix there are ways to take a look at the technology you're using in your classroom with your students, that your students are using, and kind of give it that Bloom's view. Is this higher order thinking, or am I just simply, instead of handing them a worksheet, they're doing it on a website? Well, what have you really, all you've done is basically substitute and not really kicked it up a notch. It's a bit more engaging, and then it goes up the scale. But again, teachers in the district are going to see a lot more about this in the coming months, and rating scales and so on. And this is not to imply, and I kind of realized that at some point, that you all need to be at the redefinition level of tech integration in your classroom. There's plenty of room for all of the levels here. Yes, we have the interactive whiteboard. We have our smart boards. Is that just simply replacing an overhead projector? Well, all you've done is substitute one for another. What else do we do? Well, we start making it interactive. The kids are throwing koosh balls, go up there touching it, doing a whole bunch of other things. Then we start moving it up the scale when we're doing higher level thinking with greater levels of tech integration and so on. There's another Chrome extension, Gene. I don't know if you use this. I came across it. It's called Voice Instead. It's a Chrome extension, and on any web page.
I'm not sure if that's the one I'm familiar with. I have one or two. But
this is a Chrome extension.
No, it's not that. It's not that symbol.
Okay, if I click on this, here are my various options and so on. Okay, you can pick the voice, you can do some speed and so on, and you can say I want them to sound like Watson, or Amazon, maybe it'll sound like Alexa or Cortana. I don't want to say it too loud. So it tests the voice, but here it loads it. And
the artificial production of human speech. A computer system used for this purpose is called a speech computer or speech synthesizer, and can be implemented in software or hardware products.
Can you hear that?
Text-to-speech.
Yes.
TTS.
Okay. There's that little control button appears down here where you can pause or stop it. But once you add the extension, Voice Instead, and again, you can select a number of options. You can speed it up. So any website that you're on, any screen that you're on. In fact, I think I tried it with a document. I didn't go into the learning tools. I didn't go into the immersive reader. I just found a passage. I said, okay, read that because it was on the screen. And it's not bad. And there's some current research, the value of having something read as you see it and hear it read. It deepens the comprehension levels and so on, and there's a lot of good value for that. And here is, again, a very simple, free little tool that, just with the click of a button, it's being read. It could just simply be you throw up a set of directions, and they're read. How many times is in a classroom you give directions out and Mary was still getting her notebook out or her pencil drive. She missed the directions and so on. Well, okay, Mary, they're on the screen here. You can listen to it. Or if there are several steps, it can be replayed over and over again to so the kids end up understanding it and so on. I'm going to just point out a couple things. I'm keeping my eye on the time here, Gene, because I suspect you have more. We're going into some podcasts.
That's a great place.
The Cool Cat Teacher and the 10-minute podcast. This talks a lot about it. And in fact, I think there she is. Yeah, there it is here. She's in my Feedly, and I came down here. But I put a couple, I just, changed my my preferences on my Chrome here, so I had a couple of tabs open so I could find them quickly. There's a podcast here. I thought this was because it's a little dated, but basically the information is pretty good. And I'll put these in like the show notes and so on with the link if you want to go to the Cool Cat Teacher, look at all of her resources. Looking across, get familiar with her website, and you can subscribe to it. If you're interested, you could go to the Chrome store, get that Feedly app, and pull some in there where you're getting. They're pushing the subscriptions into you all the time, and then just it's a quick way of getting a whole lot of information at your fingertips. We talked about the 10-minute teacher 10-minute teacher podcast, and they are about 10 minutes long, and they do Ed Tech Tool Tuesday, which was kind of neat. And they're all archived, as you can see. Go back and look at, okay, here's some neat stuff. And for 10 minutes, pop your earphones on, keep track of with some of the new stuff that's out there. And just because I've mentioned this a couple of times, I've got to try to move something here. You're looking at my Chrome browser, my very messy, busy Chrome browser these are technically my home pages, all that stuff. TeacherCast, I don't want to talk about that right now. But what I want to remind you about is how can you have your Chrome browser open up to specific web page, a number of web pages. These are all there now. We talked last week a little bit about New York Learns. I kept that up there. But way over to the right, and more web pages are making use of symbols similar to this. This is where you customize control of your Google Chrome. So I go down, I click on that button. I go down to settings. And in my settings, and again, this may look a little different on your computer. It depends what operating system you've got. But I'm going down here on startup. If you scroll down a little bit on startup, in other words, when you start up Chrome, what do you want to have happen? Do you want to continue where you left off, whatever it was, an hour ago, a day ago? Or do you want a specific number of web pages to appear? And all of those tabs you see across the top of the screen are ones that I have said to appear here. And I can always add. The nice thing I find very useful is use the current pages. So I'll go open a bunch of tabs either by way of a Google search or something I'm looking for. Then I'll just say, use the current pages. And they all appear here. And then you can move them around here. You can do some things with it. You can edit. You can change the name of it. Or you can just simply move it up and down where you want it to appear. In fact, you can drag and drop them at the top of your screen here. So they're just a reminder. I know we've talked about that. Edge has its own similar functions. I'm more familiar with Chrome right now, but I think Edge is going to come into play for a number of things fairly shortly. So there's my 10 minutes worth, or 15 or 20 minutes worth, Gene. If you've got more stuff.
I got a couple minutes here. We have, about 10 minutes? Sure.
I've
got some bad news, though.
Oh, I love bad. Okay. I'm going to make you the presenter.
When I take over the screen. Okay. Oh, look at this. That's it. It's just for this next week.
So get out there and enjoy it this week.
Yeah, I just sent it to I just, a few minutes ago, I muted myself and sent it to my daughter, and she says, that's awesome.
That's fun.
So, yeah, so great. Now, it is, maybe if it gets popular, Google will get enough.
I could see him doing a number of, like Superman or, any number of characters.
Kind of like they do the Google icon at the top. You know how they change it for, people and holidays and things like that. That would be cool.
Yeah, I think it's really clever and fun, and they don't seem to ever stop with, innovating and fun stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what? One thing we did talk about, we've talked about some time ago, but we have a lot of newer people here. And again, I was back to Teachers Pay Teachers. I clicked on free, and I got another idea, Raj. This was the Hello fonts. And notice it says free. And, it started me thinking, many of us have, I don't know, how many fonts do you have on your computer? I have many of them.
Well, they come with a ton of them. And then.
Yeah. And if you're not sure, first of all, how many you have or what they are, go again to your settings. I want to talk to Cortana. And if you don't know where they are in here, what I did is I go up to find a setting and I typed in fonts, view installed fonts. And you will see in a second, I have just a few installed fonts. Oh my golly. Do I use them? No. Do I get rid of them? No. Will I add some more? Probably. And here's why. If you are looking for fonts or want to install fonts, very simple to do. And take a couple of seconds to show you. First of all, if you go to Teachers Pay Teachers, you can download this for free, and I think it's in my downloads already. There it is right there. Okay. And when you download it, you'll get a folder. Personal non-commercial use. Well, okay, not per. What? Okay. Click on that to open it. It says it's a zip file, but if you click on it, it'll open it up. And they have some PDFs with all of the fonts in it, but this folder here has all the fonts inside. Now, I might recommend that you take a look at the fonts preview because you can see what they look like, but I'm just going to fly in the dark. There are a few fonts that this lady has created and she's willing to share with you. Now, I'll tell you this, many of them are similar, and you're going to say, how do I see what it looks like? Let's grab, I don't know, Hello Aloha. That looks weird. Click on it, and a little window will open showing you what the font looks like in the 12, 18, 24, the various font sizes. Now, if you want to install that font, this is called Hello Aloha. All you need to do is click on that little thing there, and it's been installed on your computer. That's how easy it is. Now, this doesn't only work for this particular.
So now if you go open up Microsoft Word.
Well, yeah. What's that?
It will be on your.
It should be, and it probably. Hey, Cortana, open Word.
Opening Word.
I'm lazy. Yeah. What was that? Hello?
Aloha. Hello, aloha.
Right there it is.
Bingo.
And I can use it now. I'm going to remove that one real quickly. Okay, but that's pretty simple. Now, where are we here? I can go here. Okay, let me go back here a second. What I did in my Flipboard for March and April, somewhere in this mess, oh, there it is, Free Fonts Baby, okay, 9,258 free fonts, and it works just about the same. Only this one kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. See, well, let's just grab the first one and see how it works. Basically, you would click download, and it's here. There it is. It's starting to look familiar. Now, what you would need to do if you don't see anything, TTF means true type font, I believe.
Yeah.
True text font. One of those.
True type, yeah.
True type. Okay, I got it the first time. And you click on it again. See, there it is. And there's the install. And that's all there is to it. That's how to add fonts. Okay, I kind of like that one. I just might install it.
I wonder if the students' computers.
I think that is, I'm not sure, but my guess is that it might allow that because it's not using an install program.
Right.
Technically, it just kind of.
I'm just thinking for kids, you know, pick a font, write a story, write your first draft now, write it using a font, and let them
then
play
at the end
with
of the year, they can spend a day and a half taking off all the installed fonts.
Right.
No, it sounds like fun. Hey, that I just thought I'd throw that out too, because that's kind of a near thing. And lastly, 3 minutes. Oh, this was cool. This was cool. See this up here? Link your phone to your computer. This was interesting. If you click on this here, and it will say something like add a phone. Now I can't right now to show you because I've already added mine. You would click on it and you put in, it makes you add in your, first of all, your Microsoft account. If you don't have it, I'm already signed in. You put in your phone number, it sends you a text message. You put in the number, and what it asks you to do is on your phone, it will install, believe it or not, Edge, okay, on your computer.
On your computer or your phone?
I'm sorry, on your phone. I apologize. On your phone. And then when you're looking at your phone and you say, hey, that's a pretty interesting article, but I can't finish it now. I want to finish it at home, or well, I want to finish it on my computer. You tap the little button here. Hold on a second, it's finding my devices. It'll find your devices. Okay. And there you go. Came from my phone. That's the article I was reading on my phone. That's another little thing you can do.
And where does it go?
It opened up Edge.
Oh, okay.
Remember, it was Edge on your phone, so it opens up Edge on your computer. Is that what you? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
is that
so
what
you sent it to your.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you want. I'm not sure exactly when I might ever use that resource, but I thought it was clever. And all you need to do again is go to your settings, and in there link your phone, and it's an Android or an iPhone. Works beautifully.
And I'm thinking like the parallel is OneNote. You can send anything from your phone to your OneNote in Office 365 and so forth there too.
Yeah. And with that, we've come to the end of a rather.
Are we waiting for people to show up?
Yeah. It was kind of hard.
I'm exhausted. I had to get up at 2 o'clock this morning to set my clocks ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking, we have a problem down in Florida, as I said, when we were starting, that they may want to go on complete daylight saving time. Okay? Well, over by our pavilion, we have a clock that links to the atomic clock. Now, if they stay on daylight saving time, that clock is going to go crazy because it's not going to know what time it is.
It's atomic? I think we're going to...
The atomic clock,
we're going to denuclearize all that stuff.
Yeah. And actually, my phone my clock on my nightstand actually syncs. I just plug it in and it syncs with the atomic clock, but it's not going to be right. I don't know what I'm going to do. We have such problems down here. So
Depends where the atomic clock is based.
I think it's out in the Midwest, and we're running out of time, Raj, and I know these nice people want to leave us. And I don't blame them.
Don't. They've already left.
Anyhow, thank you very much. We were getting off track here. It's been fun for us. I hope you enjoyed, got an idea or two. Again, forums, whatever. If you have any interest, let us know. We'd be glad to help you further. And you'll be getting the thank you email with the survey in an hour. Please respond to that. And with that, I'll say goodnight, Raj.
And I will be putting up the notes and a recording of tonight's webinar on the TRC webpage, and you can check some of them out there. I try to get it done before next week's show.
Yeah, and real quick, did you answer? Oh, yeah, I see a thank you. So you did answer that question. Okay. Hey, good night, everybody. Have a good week.
Yes. Good night, everyone.